I like you guys, but we're going to pretend it didn't happen. I'm going to go back over there, and I'm going to come and say good morning again, and you're going to say good morning like it's a happy day, and we're going to have fun. Morning, everyone. Talking right now, Steve. This time, I want to know you mean this is a good morning. We're pleased to be alive. We're going to have a great day. All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much. Oh, we should do that today. That's what we should do. Oh, you're so good. Where are all your hands? Look. Better, thank you. Okay. My name is Tatton. I used to be a teacher, and now I run a project that explains how politics works. So today, we're looking at the very basics of politics. And the word politics, there's a lot of people that when they hear the word politics, they just switch off and say, that sounds a bit sad. So we're not going to use the word that much today. We're going to ask the question, how do we decide things? And I know that you're looking at curiosity at the moment. And so that's going to be our big question for the next half hour or so. How do we decide things? So, if I've got a problem, right, here's a problem. I've got 8 sweets, I don't really. I've got 8 sweets, and I've got 10 children. What's the fairest way for me to share the 8 sweets? I can't cut them in half. What's the fairest way for me to share 8 sweets from 10 children? Your hand went straight up, young lady. What's your name, please? Emilia. Emilia, what's the fairest way? I can share them, but I've got 8 sweets and 10 children. I can try to get 2 more. That's a really nice idea. I can try to get 2 more, but with this, I'm afraid these are all the sweets there are. There's only 8 sweets. I wish I could get 2 more, Emilia. Thank you very much. Yes, sir. What's your name, please, first? Mark. Well, how am I going to share these 8 sweets? I could do 1 between 2. That's a beautiful sharing way of having it. I think there's a few people that might not be that into the kind of sharing thing. Mark, I've asked that question a lot of times and no one's ever suggested we share sweets. But thank you very much, I like that. Right in the back, yes sir?
We just...
Sorry, what's your name first of all, please?
George.
John?
George.
George, sorry George. That's fine.
We just don't give them any.
No one gets, because it's just not fair that some people would get some and some people wouldn't, right? Okay? So we've got sharing sweets, but no one gets sweets. We're going to say 1 more. Yes, madam. What's your name, please? Molly. I can't cut them in half, I'm afraid, Molly. They're just too hard, these sweets. I can't do that. Thank you. We'll take 1 more. Yes, madam. Sorry, what's your name, madam?
Athena.
Athena? Thank you, Athena. And how am I going to share them? I can eat them all myself. I like you, Athena. 1 more, because that's the same as no one else having them. So we've got to share them, we've got no one gets them, and we've got you, sir. How are we going to choose which 2 people to cut out? Everyone likes sweets. How are we going to cut 2 people out? Go for the most popular people. So the 2 least popular people don't get any sweets. Is that nice? Congratulations. Callum, thank you, Callum. So, we've got three ideas, hands down. Hands down, we've got three ideas. We've got one idea that we can share the sweets. Yeah? We've got one idea that we can, that no one gets any. Because it's not fair. We've got one idea that the two least popular people don't get any sweets. So, if we've got three things, we've got three ideas, how can we decide between all of us which idea is the best? How can we decide? Hands up if you can tell me how we can decide. Yes, madam. You could what? You could what? What did she say? You could buy a goat? We could get in a boat? So we're going to vote. We're going to vote either to share sweets, we're going to vote that no one gets any sweets, or we're going to vote the two least popular people don't get any sweets. So hands up for sharing sweets. Guys, I'm really pleased we've got lots of fun. We've only got half an hour today, so we need to move on with that chat between each bit. So hands up that no one gets any sweets. That's the only fair thing to do. Okay, thank you very much. Hands down. And hands up for the two least popular people. Don't get. Okay, so the opposite of me. Okay, thank you very much. Right. So Callum's idea that we pick two people the least popular don't get the sweets. So what's happened there is we had a problem. We all discussed and came up with some ideas, and then we voted, and then we took some action, and that's what we're going to do going forward. That's how we decide things. That's how the country works. That's politics, okay? And there's lots of things to decide. So, let's say I've got £100, okay? I've got £100, and I can either buy a wheelchair for a boy who's just broken his leg and may never walk again at QEQM Hospital, or I can buy 50 mosquito nets. I can buy 50 mosquito nets and send them to a country where mosquitoes have a disease called malaria, and people can die from mosquito bites. So I can buy one wheelchair for someone in a QEQM hospital, or I can buy 50 mosquito nets. I would like you to put, so I can't buy 25 mosquito nets and half a wheelchair, because that doesn't work. Fall out a lot. So you're going to put your hand up and vote on this. In a second, I've got to give you a choice. I've got to tell you which one it is first. We're not taking questions at the moment. So, hands up if you would like to spend the £100 on the wheelchair. Okay. Thank you very much, hands down. And hands up to spend the £100 on the mosquito nets. Hands down, thank you very much. Okay, so, thank you, hands. So, we voted, we said that it was quite close, but I think we narrowly said the mosquito nets. and send them off. Which means that this poor kid can't get to his bedroom, you know, because he can't get around, he can't get to school. He's in real trouble. So, hands up if actually you'd like to play both. Yeah? Okay, we'd all like to play both, so that's nice. But then I would need £200. So, the question is, when the government, when the people that run this country get their money, where do they get it from? Thanks. Thank you. Okay. So, the answer is, they get it from us. No. And there's lots of things we'd like to pay for. So that's a teacher, because that's what all teachers look like, isn't it? Yeah? Thank you. So they get the money from us, but they use it to pay teachers and to pay nurses and to pay the brave people out in the armed forces. And there's lots of things we want to spend money on, but all the money comes from three places. The money comes from people, and there's something called tax. Right? So, when someone works, they work hard all day, they work hard all week, and then they get paid some money having done that work, right? But the government then come and take some of that money from them. Now, some people say, that's my money! I work for that! You can't take my money! And they want to pay very little tax. And some people say, well, okay, maybe you can't have some of my money because that's going to pay for the teachers and the nurses and the army and all the rest of it. The government also get money from shops and restaurants. When you go and buy something in the shop, a bit of the money you pay goes to the government. And they can borrow a bit, but they try not to do that. So, all this money goes into the government, and then the government uses it to pay for schools and hospitals and helping people out who haven't got a job or who need an extra hand. And on the people in the army. And some people say that they want lots and lots and lots of money for schools, right? Because who would like to see more money in schools? Yeah? Yeah, well, okay, lots and lots and lots of you. Just today, lots of head teachers have written a letter to the Prime Minister, to Philip Hammond, who runs the money, saying, we need more money for schools. So if you want a bigger arrow going to schools, the arrows from the other side have to get bigger. We have to take more money from people. And we have to take more money from shops and from restaurants. Okay? So some people say the arrows should be small. Because people don't want to give up all their money. Because it's quite nice to be able to treat yourself sometimes. It's quite nice to be able to pop to Nando's for a treat. Right? So maybe it's nice to keep some of that money. And earlier, we had 3 people give us ideas, didn't we? We had 3 people give us ideas for how we could share the sweets. And what we have in politics is we have political parties. And political parties give us ideas. So, oh yeah, look, that's Central. There's no reason to have a censor in this assembly, but it's cool, right? I think you can measure assemblies, how good assemblies are, by the number of censors there are in an assembly. This is a one censor assembly. So, political parties. So the Conservative Party, they want smaller arrows. So a bit less money for people, and squeezing money a bit because of something called austerity. But and then Labour Party want bigger arrows, and the Liberal Democrats want slightly bigger arrows. The Green Party, they want huge arrows. I know. And UKIP want tiny little arrows. Okay? So, but political parties, put your hands up if you've heard of something called the Conservative Party before. You've heard the Conservative. Okay, as we get older, there's more of you. That's okay, that's fine. Well done, the ones at the front of the first Conservative Party. That's give us really good knowledge. And Labour Party, we had a Labour Party? Yeah? Hands up if you've heard of a man called Jeremy Corbyn. Oh, well, more people have heard of Corbyn than Labour, that's interesting. How about Theresa May? Oh, more than Theresa May, most of us. Who is Theresa May? Tell me Theresa May. Yeah. What's your name, sir? Aidan. Aidan, stand up. We'll give Aidan a round of applause, please. Clapping for Aidan! Prime Minister. So the Prime Minister is the leader of the Conservative Party, and Jeremy Corbyn is the leader of the Labour Party. But they don't just talk about the arrows, they talk about other things. So here's some things that they promised the last election. So the Conservative Party, who's the leader of the Conservative Party? Okay, we'll give you a shouting out, that's fine. Yes, Theresa May, good. And then Labour, who's the leader of the Labour Party? Shout us in. Yes, thank you very much. They want free school meals for everyone in primary school. Everyone in primary school get free school meals. The Liberal Democrats want to keep all the money in schools. The Greens want to get rid of all the grammar schools. And UKIP want loads more grammar schools. So, each party promises different things. And some of you might be sitting there thinking, oh, I like that promise and that political party. Just like when we're talking about the sweets, some of you thought that Mark's idea of sharing sweets was a good idea. It's not a good idea. But some of you thought it was a good idea. And I think that's everything I need to talk about, isn't it? Yeah? I haven't forgotten anything, have I? I haven't forgotten anything. Brexit. Okay. I'm going to sit down for this bit because it gets a bit complicated. Alright, listen up, people. On the 23rd of June last year, the country voted, you voted here actually, but the country also voted, and the country voted to leave the European Union. We're still going to be in Europe, the country's not going to move away. We're still going to be in Europe, but we've voted to leave the European Union. And this is what most people are talking about most of the time now in politics, because it's really complicated. Today, all the MPs, we'll talk about what they are in a minute, are going to spend 8 hours talking about Brexit. And then tomorrow they're going to get up in the morning and they're going to spend 8 more hours talking about Brexit. And that's only 2 out of the 8 days they're going to spend talking about Brexit. So it's a big topic. Now, here's what they think. The Conservative Party. Who's the leader of the Conservative Party? That's good. They want to leave in 2 years' time. They want to leave on the 29th of March at 11 p.m. on the 29th of March 2019. The Labour Party, they want to leave, but they want to stay friends. They want to keep they've got a jobs Brexit, but jobs first, they're going to keep texting Europe. It's going to be nice. The Liberal Democrats want another vote when we know what the deal's going to be, so they get a whole country to go and vote all over again. The Greens, they just want to stay in Europe. They love Europe. Green Party. And UKIP, they don't want to leave in 2 years' time. They don't want to leave tomorrow. They want to leave now. Right now. Okay. So, you know how when we did the sweets, we got all the ideas and then we voted? Well, the election happens in the same way, so we're going to vote. But we need some people to vote for. So I need 15 young people. No, I need 14 young people. Let's come and stand at the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. No, I said 14. I don't need the 15th. I'm so sorry. Oh, you can have a job later. Come and sit at the front anyway. You can have a job later. Right. So, political parties all have colours. So these guys, we've got our 3 Conservatives here. Here are our Conservative candidates. Who's the Conservative leader?
Not me.
And then we've got a Labour Party candidate. Thank you. And then, who's the Labour leader? Oh, the Labour leader! Jeremy Corbyn. Well done, though, for saying that. Hands up, anyone knows these Liberal Democrats? Yes, sir. No? No, don't worry about it. He was only announced over the summer, so we might not. His name's Vince Cable. Vince. Yeah, Vince Cable. And then we've got the Green Party. The Green Party have 2 leaders. One is called Jonathan and the other is called Caroline. I think more people came up than I meant to point to. Yeah, sorry. Okay, we're going to pretend you've got a purple hat. Can you put a hand on your head? That's a purple hat. Okay, so, and that's UKIP. Now, at election time, the country is split into 650 areas. 650 areas. Okay? We're going to split this room into 3 areas. So, down this line, can you shuffle and make a little aisle? Down this line. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, don't worry, go that way. Okay, I'm going to walk down the aisle. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Walking down the aisle. Don't get in my way. Don't get in my way. Don't get in my way. Okay, go. Okay. That's snappy, I like it. Thank you. Okay, so in each of the 650 areas, you get one candidate from each party. So in this area, we've got one Conservative, and one Labour, and one Liberal Democrat, and one Green, and one UKIP. So in each area, you get one person from, and then in the middle area, you get one of each. You get one of each in the middle area, one of each in the middle area, one of each. And then in this area, we get the rest, one of each. I love your purple hats. It's so cool. It's a purple hat. It's not a hand. We agree. Okay. So this is the way. We just switch up to the right front. Okay. So each area, the country is split into 650 areas. We have 3 areas, and in each area, there's a candidate from each party. Okay. And we're going to vote for the candidate we like. If we've forgotten, on the board now are all the different premises we've talked about from each party. So the Conservatives wanted smaller areas, they wanted more grammar schools, and they wanted to leave the EU completely over 2 years. The Labour Party wanted legal areas, free meals for primary schools, and keep some contact with the EU, and etc., etc. So, in a minute, you're going to vote for the candidate in front of you. So, on this side, if you want to vote, for example, for Conservatives, you'll be voting for Jessica, all right? And then in the middle, if you think Jessica is the most amazing person and should definitely be the MP and we would love her, that's certainly how I feel about Jessica. Tough. Because your Conservative candidate is Marie. So here you're voting for Marie. And then over here you can't vote for Marie or Jessica because your Conservative candidate is Jessica. Alright, so you can vote for A Jessica but not that Jessica. Okay? Does that make sense to everyone? So, very few people can vote for Theresa May or Jeremy Corbyn because they only stand in one of the 650 areas. Okay, right. Voting is a very big decision. I'm going to give you a whole minute to think about who you're going to vote for. And the minute will be timed on this 8 timer, which will be held by Oliver. And Oliver is going to, and there you go, both hands there. And when Oliver turns it over, you have a minute, have a look up there, talk to the person next to you who you might want to vote for. Voting is a very important decision. Oliver, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go! In 650 areas, they're both the candidates. So I'm going to start over here. I'm just going to go along the row, and you're going to put your hand up for the candidate that you would like to vote for. So in this section only, not you yet, In this section only, hands up to vote Conservative. Okay, thank you. Hands up to vote Labour. Okay, thank you. Hands up to vote Liberal Democrats. Thank you. Hands up to vote Green. Thank you. Hands up to vote UKIP. Yes, some year sixes. Okay, I think. What's your name, madam? Alina is the winner. You're right. All right, in the middle only. Hands up for Conservative. Hands up for Labour. Okay, it's not you guys yet. Hands up for Lib Dem. Okay, hands up for Green. Okay, thank you. Hands up for UKIP. I think it was quite tight between Labour and Green. So hands up for Labour. Hands up for Green. The Green Party. Okay, this side only. Hands up to vote Labour. Thank you. Hands up to vote Conservative. Thank you. Hands up to vote Lib Dem. Thank you. Hands up to vote Green. Hands up to vote UKIP. Thank you. I think it's another Green Party victory. What's your name, sir? Kieran, the winning again. So we had a clean sweep of Green parties before us. You wanted people to pay a bit more money to pay more services. You wanted no more grammar schools. And you wanted to stay in the union as possible. So what happens then? The winners become MPs, become members of parliament. They come in. So in real life, how many areas were there? How many did I say? Thank you very much. Lots of you remember that. That's good. So we've got 3 here. In real life, there's 650, all of whom have areas to represent. And so their job for the next 5 years would be to do the things they promised. Okay? They would have to do those things. And there would be, in reality, MPs from other parties. So the winner at the last election was the Conservative Party. And they were setting about doing. So that's why Theresa May is the Prime Minister. But the Labour Party and the Green Party, it's their job to keep an eye on the Conservatives. So these 3 have won, but we've got to keep a very careful eye on them to make sure they did what they promised they would do. Okay? And that's what happens in Parliament. In Parliament, all the MPs get together and they're all making laws, they're all doing the things that they promised they would do at the election. And all the MPs are keeping an eye on the government and on the Conservative Party. We have one last round of applause for our Green Party. Ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much all the time we've got. I just want to recap very briefly. Today was about how do we decide things. And we decide things by politicians and political parties looking, we have problems, and people who want to be MPs come up with ideas to how to solve them. We then vote for the best solutions, and then they get time in Parliament to make those changes. That's how politics works, and that's how decisions are made. Guys, you've been absolutely lovely today. I've had a really nice time here with you. My name is Tat, and I run Civil Politics. I'm looking forward, I'm back with you in 3 or 4 months' time. I think we're looking at how laws are made. Is that right? Yeah. So we're going to have a look at how laws are made and what the people who are up here do on a daily basis. So thank you very much for your time this morning. I'll see you in a few months. Thank you.